I didn't recognize you.
Well, and
Nice to meet you.
I'm full support of what we got in the city. For sure, it will.
Whatever.
Oh, I bought your baby boy something tonight if he comes.
You're gonna get in trouble.
I know. I know.
Evan, see you too.
Hey, Mr. Cross, how
Hey,
are you?
will I see you? See ya? Oh, you got
Oh, you don't need.
with who?
Here's your folder.
Okay, I got it.
Sorry, it's a mess. I haven't looked through it. Miss Harris, I haven't looked through I think all your stuff's in here.
Oh,
What is this for?
Your travel for tomorrow.
I wanted to meet with them on that too. Anything you need me to do on
Say
that,
what
let me
time
know.
I gotta check in?
I think it's 3. I think it's 3.
I'm not leaving that early. I haven't even packed yet.
Andrew was asking when y'all were going to be there.
How I get on this side of you? Switch.
Oh, not tomorrow.
Switch?
At the one next week, he was asking about when y'all
I'll
were
be
going
in
to be.
town about 11.
This is for tomorrow.
That's
I'll
tomorrow.
give you a call. Yeah.
On that $35.
Thank you.
Oh, here.
Let me ask you this. I haven't paid you mileage yet. I'm going to ask her, would you rather me have her take it
I
out?
think it's
Whichever one.
all right. See you, David.
This is my water here. I just got it. What's your?
Thank you.
No, what time did you end up?
She didn't like to be on the end.
Oh, I like this seat better.
Let me go ahead and hold this $35. She
Do I
says,
get to keep the
I
first?
plenty of money in it.
Make sure that's
Close to daggone minute.
yes.
That don't make no sense. with just
So stay over there till the end of them getting back.
Did they call my name? You better
No.
tell me they did.
I didn't have anything good on the weekend.
Yeah, I
Yeah. Well, it came from.
All right, T minus 1 minute. We're going to get this meeting started here pretty quick.
Mr. Jernigan, did you find him?
James, I've got you doing the invocation pledge on this one.
Do you want me to go check the speaker sheet? Are you checking the speaker sheet box for me in the back?
I think he's been done.
No, no,
He's down there.
He's down there.
come on, give it.
Can I ask Andrew?
Yes.
Yeah, that we don't have to leave.
Oh, let's see. All right. Audrey told me to sit on the end, so I wouldn't go. That is the end. Me and you, we got the end. You and I.
All right. Is everybody set?
Yes, sir.
You're gonna dig.
Miss Harris, I'm gonna take it out of your mileage money. It's easier that way.
Oh, okay, babe.
Thank you. Very good.
Did you call basically?
Thank you.
Who's this?
All right. Thank you, everybody, and sorry for the delay in beginning this meeting, but welcome to the City Council regular session, City of Lake City, January 20th, 2026 meeting. We will begin with a pledge and invocation from Mr. Carter.
Heavenly Father, thank you for allowing us to gather here today to conduct the business of our city. We ask that you grant us wisdom in the decisions that we make today, and we ask that you bless Lake City and Columbia County. In your name I pray, amen.
Amen. Thank you, Mr. Carter. Ms. Sykes, will you please call the roll?
Councilmember Jernigan,
Present.
Councilmember Harris,
President.
Councilmember Young, Councilmember Carter,
Present.
Mayor Walker,
Present.
City Manager Rosenthal,
Here.
City Attorney Martin,
Here.
Chief Butler.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, the Lake City Council has opened its public meeting. And since 1968, the city code has prohibited any person from making personal, impertinent, or slanderous remarks or becoming boisterous while addressing the city council. Yelling or making audible comments from the audience constitutes boisterous conduct. Such conduct will not be tolerated. There is only one approved manner of addressing the city council, and that is to be recognized and then to speak from the podium. Failure to abide by the rules of decorum will result in removal from the meeting. All right. We'll now consider approval of the agenda.
Mr. Mayor, move to approve the agenda.
Second.
Motion and a second. Do we have any comments, questions? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, like sign? All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we do have two proclamations tonight, and we will begin with our Martin Luther King Jr. Day proclamation. Proclamation, Martin Luther King Jr. Day, January 19th, 2026. Whereas Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. devoted his life to advancing equality, fighting for justice, social justice, and opportunity for all Americans. And whereas Dr. King is recognized as a spokesman and leader of the civil rights movement, which advocated for greater rights and greater participation in society for African Americans. And whereas Dr. King was driven by a deep-rooted belief that a person's worth ought not to be measured by their skin color or culture, but rather by the content and quality of his or her character. And whereas Congress passed the Civil Rights Act of 1964, ending segregation in public places and banning employment discrimination on the basis of race, color, religion, sex, or national origin, and the Voting Rights Act, which guaranteed the right to vote to all African Americans, largely as a result of Dr. King's influence. And whereas in January, we remember Dr. King's contributions and passionate leadership with activities that honor his enduring spirit and remind us to carry forward the principles of peace, equality, and service exemplified by Dr. King by treating everyone with courtesy, dignity, and respect. And now, therefore, I, Mayor Noah Walker of the City of Lake City, do hereby proclaim the 19th of January 2026 as Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and in doing so, encourage all citizens to join in remembering and honoring Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. with inspirational programs, ceremonies, and activities. Thank you. We do have a second proclamation tonight. For Black History Month. Is Ms. Be Faithful here tonight? Okay, very good. This is a proclamation for Black History Month, February 2026. Whereas this month we celebrate our American history and contributions of African heritage. And whereas we recognize the heritage and achievements of African culture. The contributions African culture has made and continues to make is an integral part of our society, and the history of Americans of African descent exemplifies the resilience and innovative spirit that continue to make our nation great. And whereas for generations, Americans of African heritage and African culture has embodied the shared progress of our nation through toil and struggle with courageous actions that have broken barriers, they have made America a better place to live and work for everybody. From native African kings and queens to Americans of African descent such as Harriet Tubman, Rosa Parks, Martin Luther King Jr., and Barack Obama. And whereas we share a rich cultural history which embodies valuable cultural contributions from Africa through its cultural norms and Americans of African descent. The strength and determination of men and women like these remind us that our nation brims with people whose contributions continue to make it stronger and better. Whereas our success historically, presently, and as we embark on our future, requires the continued commitment and contributions of our citizens and fellow Americans of African descent. We continue this journey toward a stronger, more united nation. Let us use this commemoration of American history to celebrate the contributions made from African heritage and culture. And whereas, let us use this month to serve as a reminder of the need for continued meaningful dialogue and shared commitment to collective action that uplifts and empowers, as well as the strength, ingenuity, and perseverance required of us in the years to come, because we have learned from the opportunities of our past and know that we are stronger together. Now, therefore, I, Mayor Noah Walker of the City of Lake City, do hereby proclaim the month of February 2026 as the month to celebrate American history and the era of African heritage in the City of Lake City, and in doing so, urge all citizens to join me in observing this month with the appropriate programs, ceremonies, and activities. Thank you. I will ask Councilwoman Young, Councilwoman Harris, and Councilman Jernigan to join me up front for a photo, please. And Councilman Carter?
How could you forget him?
They left you out first.
All right. That concludes our proclamations for this evening, and we will now move on to public participation. We do have 2 people signed up for public participation tonight. And Miss Linda Andrews, you are first.
Good evening, I'm Linda Andrews. I live at 366 Southwest St. John Street here in Lake City. I moved to Lake City in 1998. I have been hearing about the distance.
Miss Andrews, I'm going to,
Yes.
will you, yes,
Point
thank
that
you very
down?
much.
Okay.
Perfect.
All right. I've been hearing about this fire thing since I got here. And the city used to have the only fire department, and the county paid you to take care of the county. But they kept asking for satellite stations out in the county to better serve their people. And the city kept ignoring them. So the county said, poo on you, we'll build our own fire department. And they have, and they've been quite successful. They're not as good as the cities. The city's got a terrific rating. They really work hard, and the county doesn't have that much money invested. The city's had a fire department a lot longer. But my grandson is a county fireman, and he loves his job, and I don't want him to lose it. He lives down in Wilson Springs, so he works there in Fort White in that station. And he tried something else. And he'd hear the fire engines going, and he'd think, wait for me. But they wouldn't wait for him. He was a salesman. So he went back and took up his position as a county fireman again. And he loves it. So I know our firemen are really proud of the things they do here in the city, and the county people are too. So this study, if you do it, I don't think it's going to solve all your problems. There are always going to be people who are going to be opposed to it, and always people who are going to be in favor of it. But it is a valid thing to look at, to see if there is a consolidation and a money consolidation as well, you know, and a service consolidation. There's got to be somewhere. But if it could keep you 2 different fire departments, that's fine with me. I mean, and I want to tell you one thing about Black American Week. I went to Hawaii one time, and I was in the Chinese market, and they called me a Howie. And I didn't care for that at all. And I took a look at her and I said, I know what Americans look like. They look like me and they look like you. They're black and white people and they live in the American United States. And that's all I have to say about that. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Andrews. We do have Jesse Shepard. You're next.
Jesse Shepard, I live at 159 Southwest Hummingbird Lane.
Mr. Shepard, can I ask you to aim the mic up? Thank you very much. Sorry.
Jesse Shepard, I live at 159 Southwest Hummingbird Lane, Lake City. I have an issue. It's with the EMS. They only want to take people to the Lake City Medical Center. My uncle got hurt. EMS, he's a veteran. I am too. But the EMS says that they only take folks to the Lake City Medical Center. My uncle got hurt. I called the VA for him. They said take him to the VA ER. But EMS pretty much says, no, we only take people to the Lake City Medical Center, which if we are veterans, some veterans only use the VA because that's what they can afford. They can't afford to go to the Lake City Medical Center because that bill probably would take their house and everything else. So is there any way to, if we as veterans says we want to go to the Lake City ER, that the EMS will take us to the Lake City VA ER versus Lake City Medical Center ER. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Shepherd.
May,
Yes, sir.
may I address
Sure.
this too?
Yeah, absolutely.
There was another lady who works at the VA. There was a 88-year-old veteran that needed to go to the VA. So when he called, EMS showed up and they were going to take him to the Lake City Medical Center. In turn, he said, I cannot afford to go to the medical center. I got to go to the VA. So they said, well, we're only going to take you to the medical center. So in turn, he called an Uber to take him to the VA. And the lady was so upset about that today when I went to my appointment today at the VA. She was really upset about that. And she was supposed to come up and speak tonight. And then coincidentally, Mr. Shepherd's got another problem with EMS. Don't want to take him to the VA, but they will take him to the Lake City Medical Center. I don't understand it. I don't know if there's a rule for that, but EMS is taking veterans to the hospital, Lake City Medical Center, instead of taking them to the VA. So it's something that we probably want to look into.
Yeah, so EMS is provided on contract by the county specifically, but it is something that I'm willing to call and meet with them about because it should be patient choice unless you're in a life threatening condition and you have to go to the nearest hospital.
Okay, well, to even further this, actually, us veterans, we have what we call a tail care, which, pretty much authorize us to call in, tell our condition, and they'll say, come to the ER, okay? And if it's a life-threatening situation, we can still authorize to go to Lake City Medical Center to be stabilized, and they'll send us there. But, in my uncle's condition, he broke his hip. Yeah, he was in a lot of pain. But we contact the VA, and they say, we are waiting on him at the ER. And EMS still pretty much was refusing to take him to the ER until I called the nurse again, and the nurse got on the phone with EMS and says he's been authorized to come straight to the Lake City Lake City VA ER. We are waiting on him. So that, anyway, maybe I should be addressing the county commission instead of.
Just because they have the EMS contract, but I would like to follow up with you after the meeting because I think that it's probably a matter of following up through the case management at the hospital level with the EMS to know and have that coordination there as
Okay,
well.
yeah. Okay,
Well,
thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. All right, Mr. Lilker.
Thank you, Your Honor. I believe with EMS, Stu Wilker, Columbia County Observer, that they have to take you to the nearest hospital. But you do need to call the county. You guys pay taxes. If a veteran needs to go to the VA in Lake City, EMS is supposed to take them there. Period. Full stop. That shouldn't even be a matter of discussion. But of course, this is the way this county is run. I got a question about the hospital, Jan's at Lakeshore, that building. I spoke to the fire department. The city did an emergency inspection. Somebody got a hold of the Lakeshore Hospital Authority before the inspection even happened. It's kind of like really unbelievable, so much for surprise inspections. And that's just wrong. But I did find out while I was researching the hospital situation, and if anybody, like everybody in Florida, has seen those pictures, that the fire department, like the Blanche years ago, nobody had inspected that hospital with the excuse, let me rephrase that, with the explanation that it was vacant or vacated or not occupied. None of those things are true. You recall the lawsuit with the city and the zoning issues that Mr. Rosenthal brought up, and then all that money got wasted. the county, the Lakeshore Hospital Authority claimed that the hospital had to be open for business at a moment's notice in case somebody wanted to go in there. And that was one of the zoning issues. Anybody look at that roof? There was a fire in that building, firemen would have been killed. And I think something needs to be done. At least maybe the fire chief could explain that, because I got a call that that building was not inspected. I understand there were people living inside it and all sorts of things. The next thing, ADA. You guys still have a problem with ADA accessibility on your documents. You know, veterans have trouble getting to the VA. People that have some kind of physical challenge can't read some of this stuff. And I will tell you that the police chief straightened his stuff out. He got it figured out. But there's one item on there that's got Mr. Rosenthal's name on it that clearly is not ADA accessible. Only parts of it, Mr. Rosenthal. That's just wrong. And that stuff needs to be taken care of. It's not the responsibility of the city clerk. I don't know what the deal with that is now. It shouldn't be. Just like when you file papers in a federal court, that Mr. Martin will tell you, the attorneys are responsible for doing the redactions, and if not, they come after you. The feds do, in a federal court. And it's time that this city started getting its act together and making sure your documents are ADA compatible. If it makes you feel better, everybody's heard about Fort White. Not one of their documents in their whole agenda is ADA compatible for the meeting coming up. The final thing I have is the city code. That's been being updated for 4 years, 5 years. I would just like to know where we stand on that. If somebody could explain that, Mr. Walker. And if the LDRs are now going to be put in with the city code instead of on a separate place on the website. That was a big issue with the county. County didn't want to do it, but they had to do it. So I would respectfully request that all those items be looked into, and ADA is simple, so that has to be done soon. Thank you very much, Mr.
Thank you, Mr. Welker. All right.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
just a quick question before we move on from that a particular subject. At budget time, we had a big debate about, do we hire a person to be in charge of ADA, or does each department train a person to be in charge of ADA? I can't remember where we ended up falling on that. I think we decided that each department was in charge. But if that's still an issue, is there some, have we begun a process one way or the other, Mr. Rosenthal?
We decided it's gonna be in the clerk's office.
So we,
Hire a person.
okay, so,
I don't think that's so. We didn't say we was gonna hire a person.
No, I-
There's software that was supposed to be put into effect and used, and to at least find out if that works for us. And to my knowledge, it hasn't gotten done. We never said we was gonna hire a person.
Mr. Mayor, to be clear, I remember arguing pretty vigorously for hiring a person, and that, I lost that argument in the council. So, and I don't recall specifically talking about software. I thought each department was going to have to train someone, because it was like the options we were given was either each department has a person who's in charge of it, or we have or the city has a person who's in charge of it. But obviously, it is important, so I'd like to get an update on where we stand with that.
Ms. Young?
And we even reached out, help me out with this, Chief, if you will. We even reached out to surrounding areas to see where they were with this, what they're using.
Actually, Matt, it's two different subjects.
Okay.
The software we reached out to is redaction software for our videos. Sure. That's something different than what they're talking here with the ADA compliance.
Okay, we were supposed to reach out with the ADA, so we didn't do that?
I don't deal with the
That-
ADA.
It was two,
I dealt with redaction.
okay, it was two. It was the software, number one. So Ms. Sykes, maybe you can expound on that.
Mayor.
Yes, please.
We already have software that we do utilize. There are some issues that we have with the software. What we had talked about was potentially letting the departments each do their own redactions. That's what you and I had spoke about, try it for about 6 months. But we need to have a clear understanding as to what the actual law says. And Clay and I are actually attending a class. I think it is, excuse me, in the next week or so, the Florida League of Cities Information Technology persons, those are the persons I had spoke to during the Florida League of Cities conference, and talked about this issue with them. They're having a winter symposium, and they're having a conference. So they are having a class specifically on the ADA and the new requirements that are coming down from municipalities. Clay and I have both registered for that class, and it is in the next, Clay, what is it, like in a week and a half?
I think it may be a week from today.
Yeah. So we're going to go to that class. Then we'll have a better grasp on what the actual requirements are, and then we can dive down and start addressing who needs to be responsible for what. I do know our IT department has already started working on the stuff on the website. So that has already started happening. They've redone our website and started addressing the ADA compliance issues with the website. What we need to address now is the documents that the clerk's office receives for the agendas. So that's what we need to address.
So from then to now, we have not utilized the software.
We do utilize the software, but we only utilize it to ADA remediate our minutes. All the other departments have not, we have not rolled that out to the other departments yet because we want to have a clear understanding as to what the compliance guidelines are. Like, you can run an ADA compliance on a document. For example, we had a budget that rolled out, and that budget document is ADA compliant. But when you run the ADA compliance checker on it, you do get a whole lot of errors on the document. So we need to determine, are the errors that are on that document, are they acceptable errors or are they not acceptable errors? So I think that's where we're getting hung up. We have to find out, and I've talked to finance about this, I've talked to Clay about it. We just need to find out what are the acceptable errors for ADA compliance, if that's, I don't know how else to explain it. But we just need some more guidance on,
From the,
from the people who understand what the law is that we have to be in compliance with for 2027.
it seems like we're probably not unique in that scenario if
we are
if
not.
they're offering a class on it. Yes, ma'am, Ms. Young?
So Attorney Clay, you're not up on this?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the question, madam. I didn't hear what you said, I'm sorry. The acoustics in here are really bad on this end, so it's
Okay,
difficult to hear.
on the ADA compliance, so we, according to Ms. Sykes, we really don't know what is required and what's not required.
Right.
So are you not knowledgeable of that?
I would say that compliance with the ADA is a very specialized field of law, and it's not one that I specialize in. That's part of the reason why we're going to the conference next week, is to begin to learn. My understanding, for example, with documents, and I think this is some of the hang-up even between software packages, is there are different ways to make a document compliant. And I'm not sure where the line is for compliance on those. I know, given examples that Mr. Lilker has given us before, relative to some of the documents that Chief has submitted, for example, we receive a lot of, and one in particular was a state document. It was a state grant document that we received from the state of Florida. I think it may have been FDLE. And we have no control over that document. We have no control over the font size. We are sent a document by them. And I'm not sure to what extent we can or have to modify that document, for example, to make it ADA compliant. And so those are kind of the nuances that I'm trying to get an understanding of, so I know exactly how far we have to go. Do we have to take a document that a third party provides us that coincidentally is a state agency, and do we have to completely deconstruct it, reconstruct it in larger font size so that it's readable by computer reader, or is it acceptable because it's from a third party that we accept it in the form it comes in? So those are the kind of things that I'm not familiar with, that I'm hoping to familiarize myself with.
So when is the date of the training?
I believe it's next Tuesday. I can.
Okay, so we should have an update at the next meeting.
I will be able to give you some sort of update on what we gathered from that.
Thank you, Mr. Martin. All right.
So,
Thank you.
I'm a little confused. So if Chief has his done, right?
Yeah, I believe that, Ms., yes.
I'm sorry, Chief.
The police department, by and large, is in a better position than, say, utilities. I don't have graphs, I don't have pictures. there's a lot of stuff that when zoning comes up and does a presentation, I don't have to deal with. Mine is all text. So I was able to go on and figure out how to use the Adobe to do the text, which took me a little while to figure it out, but we figured it out. But again, my documents are a lot simpler than most of the documents the city departments deal with.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you, Chief Butler.
How long ago did we talk about that? I thought we talked about that and it was moved on, so now we're waiting on this particular meeting? And Audrey, I spoke with you, last week? About, and I asked you specifically about ADA.
Yeah, I told you that Clay and I were attending the training.
So this entire time, you're pretty much waiting on this
If-
training?
If we're wanting to do it right, yeah, but, yes, the issue is, Mr. Rosenthal wants us to hire a person in our department. I feel like the city departments should be able to ADA remediate their documents, but we also need to find out what is that fine line that we have to come up to? What's acceptable? We have a lot of documents that come out of, and I'm not picking on any department, but procurement. Her packets that she submits, you'll see in the packets, there is so much information in those bid documents. If someone has to sit there and remediate every page of a 300-page bid document, that's hours and hours and hours of work. So what we're trying to do is find out exactly what is the compliance factor for the law, and that's what we need to meet. We don't want to try to exceed it. The software that we currently have, we can only load 75 pages at a time in it to do it. And when our packets are 300 and 400 pages long, and when we don't get the packets out till X day, there's no way to remediate a packet before it goes out. It just can't.
Right,
Yeah.
I understand that, but my thing of it is, when we first talked about this, it was said that it is the law.
It is.
Okay, so it is the law, so right now we're unlawful because we don't have it, we're waiting on this one specific
We have until, I think it's 2027 to come into compliance with it. So we have until 2027 to come into compliance because of our municipality size. And that's statewide. Municipalities that are larger in size had to be in compliance through 2026. I think it was April of 26 they had to be in compliance.
So we're still on a good timeline to where we're not
Yeah,
penalized for it.
it's not that we've not done anything. I've been doing research with colleagues on the back end. I met with a lot of people.
Long as we're.
Yes, ma'am, we're moving it forward. It's not that we've not done anything, and I hate that that was kind of insinuated. That's not the
Yeah.
case. That's not it at all. I speak with colleagues, and I spoke a long time at length at the League of Cities Conference with the IT professionals, and they were kind enough to get this class together and invited specifically the Clerks Association to attend that class.
Gotcha.
And I'm bringing Clay as my guest so that we can try to get a good grip on that. So
Sounds
we've not
good.
been doing nothing, so.
Sounds good to me.
All right, very good. All right, that closes public participation. Now we'll move on to our consent agenda.
Mr. Mayor, move to approve the consent agenda.
We have a motion to approve
Second.
and a second. Thank you both. Do we have any further comments, questions? Hearing none, Ms. Sykes, will you please call the roll on the consent agenda?
Mr. Carter?
Mr. Mayor, do we need to open the floor for public comment on consent now?
No, there's nobody signed up for it.
Okay, in that case, yay.
Ms. Harris?
Yes.
Ms. Young?
Yes.
Mr. Jernigan?
Yes.
Mayor Walker?
Yes. Thank you, though, Mr. Carter, for that. Moving on to item number 8 on our agenda, which is the Gwyn Lake update, Mr. Michael Klink for Waters. Mr. Dunn, would you like to introduce this, or D?
Mr. Klink.
Yeah, I'll let you just take it, Mr. Klink, because we're not set up the normal way, so.
Okay. I'm Michael Klink with Four Waters Engineering. To give you a quick update on Gwyn Lake, the modeling is complete, which includes the storm analysis and the low hazard dam failure analysis. Permanent easements are in preparation with the city attorney and the surveyor. The permits were prepared and signed by the city manager this week, and that included the Army Corps of Engineers, which is a request for no permit, and Swanee River Water Management District. Those permit submittals will go in with 90% design plans and drainage report, including the 2 modelings that I mentioned. Those will go in January 30th, is the submittal date on that.
Could you say January 30th one more time?
January 30th.
Thank you.
And then, just a grant update.
This is Shannon Williams with Gateway Grants, and Councilwoman Tammy has already cornered me about this. So we're still pending the HMGP, but I told you when we submitted this in July, the end of July, that it takes like 6 to 9 months for them to make a decision. And the good thing is that they're still corresponding with us, and they're still giving out RFIs, and I've been bothering Mr. Klink over here about making sure we get all this stuff, and he's been great about it. So the last RFI we submitted was around the end of December. So diligently checking my emails, making sure they have everything that they need, and also pursuing other grant opportunities to make sure we have enough funding in case this might go over or whatever, so that we can, Gwyn Lake is my, it's my baby too, so yeah, I am still working on it. As soon as I hear anything that might indicate we're in a good position, I'll be happy to share it with everyone. Yeah, so thank you.
What department is that grant through?
The HMGP is a FEMA grant, but the FloridaDisaster.org is the ones who we submit the application to, so.
Okay.
Mayor.
Yes, ma'am, Ms. Young.
Dr. Shannon Williams.
Yes.
I just,
I got my PhD December
Yes.
12th, 2025.
right,
Go Knowles, go
doctor.
Knowles. So yes, it's Dr. Shannon, but I can still be Shannon, y'all know.
yeah,
I'm like
that's it,
family.
that's all.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right.
So in terms of sludge moving out of Gwyn Lake, we've got the permits, we've almost got the funding. What is the timeline on the removal of sludge from the lake?
So once we submit the permits, they'll have 30 days to review it, to give us comments back. They likely do have one round of comments at a minimum. We're still in preparations with the permanent easement, so those will need to be locked in. That's one of the things that they'll probably ask us for. So I would say 60 days with permitting, and then final bid documents and bidding it out. But if we're waiting on the grant may lag more than us completing the bid documents. So
Did you
if we,
say 60 days?
for the permit, receiving the
So
permit.
we're looking at 60 days plus,
That's why I'm asking, because we started
Yeah.
last summer as removal of sludge in December, and then it moved to February,
Yeah.
and now we're looking at like May?
We did get delayed on the modeling for sure, at the end of the year here. And then in coordination with the grant, it seemed like we were in holdout for the grant as well. So we kind of extended the schedule a little bit along with the grant, I guess, for the grant funding.
So with the funding, if the funding were to land on time, we're looking at May, is that accurate?
I'm not sure when do you think the funding may?
I honestly can't, just from historically dealing with HMGP, it's literally like a year all the way through. So from July to July, we can probably expect, before we even see a contract that we can put out here to
oh
sign.
my gosh, you're
Get
killing
thing,
me.
I'm just being, if it's earlier, it would be awesome, but it's really a very long process with the HMGP, and I'm not sure why. I think they don't have a lot of project managers going through all of the applications that they receive, so, and there's a lot of, engineering analysis, a lot of cost-benefit analysis that goes into that, environmental, considerations. So they send RFP after RFP getting, so the application is relatively easy, but then they start refining it with RFPs to try to make sure that the project is appropriate for the funding, so, yeah.
So when they told me 90%, that was untrue?
90% for the plans, I think, is different from the grant application. He is about 90% with the plans for the engineering, but we're trying to, I guess, consolidate, coordinate when the funding comes in and when the plans are done, because the plans are gonna have a cost, and I've seen plans sit and then they increase. So that's why I'm looking for additional funding, but hopefully we'll have some continuity between the two, but I can't promise.
This is through FEMA, the HMGP is through FEMA and the Florida
Yeah.
Emergency Management. Okay.
We'll have the bid package completed before the grant. That's what I was,
And the bid packet would be
when it's ready to go out to bid.
approximately?
So, Well, that would be all completed, and it's up to the city if they want to go ahead and bid it out before they get a determination on the grant.
So we haven't,
So you may or may not want to do that.
Thank you, Mr. Klink. Mr. Rosenthal, did you have something to add?
I don't know, Mike, but once we get everything together.
yeah.
Once we get everything together, we're gonna go ahead and bid it out, because we know we wanna do it. And then when the funding comes, we'll be able to apply the funding and get going.
Okay. All right.
You're really hurting my feelings right now, because I really thought we were gonna be moving some dirt out there. I mean, sooner than later, but now I hear 60 more days, and then after the 60 days, we're waiting for,
Yeah, I have no control over how fast that they move with the state, and, you know, just with projects in general, if we bid too early, it might be a problem as well. So if we're waiting for, you know, grant funding, you know, to come in, and the bids are a year old, and we're in trouble, you know.
so there is no way that we can kind of expedite this process?
Yeah, there's always a way.
Let me say this, and the reason why is because from what I understood, it has been over 20 years since they've been talking about getting Gwyn Lake done. And it just keeps, to me, y'all know what I say about kicking the can down the road. Now we done kicked it for 1 year, and now we're finna kick it for 60 more days and probably 60 more days. So I'm not understanding what is really going on. Yeah, D, come on up here. I thought you was hiding.
Maybe we could get an action plan.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. This has been a stringent project since I took it over. I can definitely say we have come a long way in the last year. We've started on this thing years ago, as you said, and we just got a permit dealing with a new company. Mr. Klink came in and kind of jumped in it and ran with it.
Wait, you say you just got a permit. See, I got a problem with that, because if they've been doing this for 20 years,
This is a
nothing
different
was done before.
consultant.
You have to get a new permit with a new,
They never had a permit. They did a permit, but it was for a different phase of the project. What Mr. Klink brought in was, we had to deal with the structure on the west end of the lake. That kind of slowed us down. That's the modeling that he's talking about. It kind of put us about a month behind. But I still want to say, in the last year, we have come a long way on this project with Mr. Klink. And I know you want it done
I don't wanna
tomorrow.
hear that.
But unless the city wants to put up $2 million, we can go out to bid. We can't go out to bid without the funds. That's illegal. But if we want to put $2 million of cash up, we can definitely go out to bid. But I think it'll be better if we just wait and hold out for this grant.
Because there is money assigned to it.
look,
Mr. Mayor.
I get all of that, but I'm still going back on what, for the last 20 years, you all cannot use any of that stuff, or you have to start brand new because it's a
I
brand.
can't speak to 20 years ago.
You
I've
was
only been at
here?
I was sweeping floors 20 years ago.
Well, 10, let's go back for the last 8
well,
then, you was here.
I've been here on this project for the last 2 years. When Mr. Rosenthal came on, we kind of went a different direction with a different engineer to get a different insight on it. So that's kind of how we landed here. But I understand that I grew up in that area. I've played in that area, skated down that hill. I know the significance of this. It's bigger than Gwyn Lake, I want to say, because you have a whole ecosystem tied to this. So the work that Mr. Klink has done, we have come, he's actually doing it pretty quick. But I know. But like I said, it's all positive.
I want to hear.
This is a positive update.
It is. Mr. Carter, you had a question?
Yeah, I was just going to clarify, I think it's been a problem for 20 years. It hasn't been a problem being addressed for 20 years. And the city was doing some things a few years ago, and those things amounted to not much. When Mr. Rosenthal got here, he jumped in, reassessed the problem, and we effectively started over like 2 years ago. And so the distance that y'all have come in 2 years for a government project is actually really impressive. Like, all of these things, when done right, are going to take a few years. To be clear, like, so this team has not been dropping the ball for 20 years. Like, they're kind of nailing it right now.
Nor did I say that,
Right.
but, you know, and I'm gonna go back to the things I ran off of Gwyn Lake being done. I spoke to the Hares that is affected by this lake and has been affected for years. So I want this to be done as quickly as possible. And I appreciate and thank y'all for what you have done. But when these people call me, I want to be able to give them an answer. And right now, I don't feel like I'm getting satisfied with an answer. I appreciate the 90%, so please, counsel, everybody don't think that I don't appreciate it. I do. But y'all got to give me some more.
Mayor.
Sure.
And Ms. Harris, we have been in contact with Ms. Harris. I know her personally.
Thank you.
We do reach out to her, myself, Shannon Williams. They are up to date. We actually had to get some information for the last RAI to give them the state or the disaster to fulfill that. So we have been in coordination. We send out letters. We also are putting out stuff on our website through our app. So if any citizens are wanting to know what's going on, they can definitely tune in there and we'll keep them updated.
You know everybody ain't gonna look on that computer. They'll rather call me and complain.
Of course. It's easier just
They
to
might
call
look,
somebody.
they might look and then call you anyway, so it's just the nature of the beast.
But thank y'all so much. I
Thank you.
appreciate what you done, so don't think I'm being, you know, I just don't like to get them phone calls. 'Cause
Great job.
theirs don't be that sweet, some of them.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Klink. Thank you. Appreciate you guys. Thank you, Dr. Williams.
Thank you, Dr. Williams.
All right. That concludes item number 8. We will move on to our open quasi-judicial hearing. And we are at number 9, which is the City Council Ordinance number 2026-2350. Mr. Martin, I'll let you take it from here.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Members of the council, as the mayor said, you have before you ordinance number 2026-2350 on first reading, considering application ANX 2508, which is an ordinance considering an application for voluntary annexation submitted by Pam Stewart and Scott D. Stewart. The purpose of tonight's procedure is to ensure that all of the parties involved receive a full and fair hearing. First, we're going to hear presentations from the city, the applicant, and any party interveners, followed by public comment, and then cross-examination if anybody chooses to cross-examine. The mayor can then allow any additional response by participant if he sees the need to do so to ensure fairness. At that point, once all of the information's been received, the council can ask questions of any of the participants. Following that, we would move on to final arguments and comments if anybody has them from the participants. I will then advise council as to the law and necessary findings, and then the council can deliberate and vote. The council welcomes comments from all persons with an interest in the proceeding, but Florida law requires that council's decision in quasi-judicial actions be supported by competent substantial evidence presented to the city council during the hearing on the application. Competent substantial evidence is evidence a reasonable mind would accept as adequate to support a conclusion. There must be a factual basis in the record to support opinion testimony from both expert and non-expert witnesses. People presenting testimony may support their testimony by relying on factual information provided by the city staff, the applicant, or other factual information included in the city staff report. At this time, I need to inquire of each council member individually if they've received any ex parte communications involving any of these matters, and if so, to please disclose them. Starting at the end of the dais with Councilwoman Young. Have you received any ex parte communications? Okay, and Councilman Carter?
No.
Councilman Jernigan?
No, sir.
Councilwoman Harris?
No.
And Mr. Mayor?
No.
Okay, at this time, if each person who's going to offer testimony and speak to this application could stand and raise your hand to take an oath. Do you each swear to tell the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth? All right, thank you. Let's see. You have before you, council members, ordinance 2026-2350, an ordinance of the city of Lake City, Florida, pursuant to petition number ANX 2508, submitted by Pam Stewart and Scott Stewart, relating to voluntary annexation, annexing certain real property located in Columbia County, Florida, which is reasonably compact into the boundaries of the city of Lake City, Florida, making certain findings of fact and support thereof, providing severability, repealing all ordinances in conflict, and providing an effective date. Mr. Angelo, could you please introduce, summarize, and present the proposed ordinance?
All right, Mr. Mayor and City Council, we have before you tonight ordinance number 2026-2350, which is for annexation 2508. This is for parcel number 08891-000, annexing this into the city. This parcel is located out by I-75 and Highway 47. is a parcel that the Little Caesar sits on currently right now. And it's part of the joint planning agreement with the county, their cornerstone planning area. And, you know, the staff's recommendation that we approve this because we do have the the interlocal agreement was adopted by the county and the city in December. And that's it. And I'd like to move my presentation into the record.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Angelo.
Thank
Is there anyone to speak on behalf of the applicant?
Good evening, Mr. Mayor. My name is Justin Tabor. I'm a senior planner with North Florida Professional Services. I don't have a formal presentation for the commission this evening, but I'm here and happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
Tabor. About process of elimination, I don't guess that we have any party interveners. Is there any public comment?
There is, yes. Mr. Lilliker, you signed up for this one?
Thank you, Your Honor. If you would have called before, you know, they have screens here, you could have projected this on the screens so people could see it. I don't know whose job that is. Somebody should have done it. I spoke about this last time. This says first reading. Is this different than the one last time?
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
Your Honor?
It is different. This is a smaller parcel that is down in the corner where the Little Caesar store is located. Last week's was, or the last meeting's was the larger parcel where you see all of the heavy equipment.
They're adjacent to each other, however.
Yes,
They're
that's
right
what I
next to
thought.
it.
So thank you. So if you have, look at your packets and the public could look at the imaginary screen up there, Little Caesars is very far from the boundaries of Lake City. You looked at your map. And this says, this is going into the boundaries of the city of Lake City. We went through this last time. Now, if you look at the map, it's not in the boundaries of the city of Lake City. That's what it says in the title, I guess you call it, or whatever you guys call it, that beginning part. It's not in the boundaries. You knew it last time, and you just fluffed over it. And you know it this time. If you look at your maps, you will see it's Lake City is that patchwork of somewhat connected properties that they tried to straighten out and were never successful at. And apparently now you're going to be even less successful because you found a little thing to hopscotch. You didn't have to have concurrent properties. But that is not in there, and this is wrong. Now, there may be correct legal wording that would do it, but I respectfully suggest to you that you are passing something that is knowingly wrong. It is, and you can tell me if I'm wrong. Because I looked at the map, it's not connected to Lake City at all. You got to take a truck or a car, electric car preferably, or a plane or something to get down to Little Caesars. But it's not in Lake City. And I think that needs to be corrected. And that's what I got to say. Thank you very much, Your Honor. And I'd like to know if it's not going to be corrected, why it's not going to be corrected.
Thank you, Mr. Lilliker. Mr. Martin.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Moving on, let's see. Does anyone wish to cross-examine one of the other participants? All right. Seeing no cross-examination, do any council members have any questions of the applicant or other participants?
No, sir. Oh, we do, yes.
Yeah,
Mr. Jernigan.
I got a question for you, Clay. Is it in the boundaries of Lake City or isn't it?
Once annexed, it will be in the boundaries of the city of Lake City. Something that's not annexed would, of course, not be within the boundaries. It's the annexation, it's in and of itself that includes it within the boundaries.
Okay. So once we get it annexed in to the city, it will be in the boundaries of Lake City.
That is correct.
Okay, thank you.
I have a question, just to clarify that for everybody else. It is in the boundaries of the ISBA that we put together and signed with the county, correct?
That is correct.
which is a legal area that we determined through state law.
Through state law, through Part 2 of Chapter 171.
Perfect. Yeah. Perfect. Thank you, Mr. Martin. That's the only question I have. Any other questions from the council? All right.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Are the parties waiving final argument and comment? Okay. Thank you. I see nodding heads. The decision of the council should be based only on evidence provided by sworn witnesses. In addition, the ordinance may be adopted if the property proposed to be annexed is contiguous to current municipal boundary or otherwise complies with Part 2 of Chapter 171, if the property proposed to be annexed is reasonably compact, and if the application for voluntary annexation bears the signatures of all owners of property in the area proposed to be annexed, otherwise complies with applicable state law, and does not confer special privileges or rights on any person. At this time, the council may discuss the ordinance and testimony and any findings of fact upon which the council wishes to base a decision and adopt proposed ordinance 2026-2350 following an appropriate motion and second.
Thank you, Mr. Martin. Do we have any further comment, questions, or would anybody like to adopt City Council Ordinance number 2026-2350 on first reading?
Mr. Mayor, I move to approve City Council Ordinance 2026-2350.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Thank you both. Do we have any final discussion or questions? Hearing none, Ms. Sykes, will you please call the roll?
Mr. Carter?
Yay.
Ms. Young?
Yes.
Mr. Jernigan?
Yes.
Ms. Harris?
Yes.
Mayor Walker?
Yes. All right. Moving on to item number 10. This is City Council Resolution number 2026-012. Mr. Martin, will you please read this by title?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Council members, you have before you Council Resolution 2026-012, a resolution of the City of Lake City, Florida, approving that certain agreement between the city and AVI SPL LLC, a Florida Limited Liability Company, for audiovisual equipment and related professional services, making certain findings of fact in support of the city approving said agreement, recognizing the authority of the mayor to execute and bind the city to said agreement, directing the mayor to execute and bind the city to said agreement, repealing all prior resolutions in conflict, and providing an effective date.
Thank you, Mr. Martin. We do have public comment on this, so I will go ahead and open up public comment. Mr. Lilker, I have you signed up for item number 10.
Thank you very much, Your Honor. It's in the legal boundaries of Lake City. It's not in the geographical boundaries, which should be in there. Now, this is this one. Now, I'm a little confused. This says that you're redoing the audio in the city hall. Is that what this is about?
For wireless mics.
Didn't you just, now, I'm going to tell you, I spoke to the city manager about this in the original bids. The original bids was someplace from Texas. Now, I don't think that's kosher whatsoever, as the Greeks would say in New York City. Mr. Rosenthal can tell you about that. I think he's from New York. That's not right. Now, all of a sudden, I guess this is the same people, I don't know, that now this is a piggyback off a Florida bid. I spoke about getting wireless mics. You guys spent about $65,000. I just heard Ms. Harris say there's only so much money to go around. I heard Ms. Young say there's only so much money. I don't know if you said there's so much money, Mr. Carter, but you didn't. But there's only so much money to go around. I'd like to know, well, maybe the public would like to know, when you had this thing designed, why wireless mics weren't put in there in the first place. I was told that the people who were doing it were experts. As a matter of fact, I think one of the city councilmen said he was an expert. Apparently, nobody's really an expert, because now you are spending of the taxpayers' money, $10,000 and $32,000. Here's that, $42,000 extra to put in wireless mics when you already have the wired mics up there now? Another additional expense? So I think the citizens, Mr. Walker, should know who's responsible for this boondoggle. You know, everybody sees what goes on in Washington, and they complain. You know what they say, Ms. Young, all politics is local. This is starting right in your backyard. You know, it's about time you guys tightened up your bootstraps a little bit. This is just wrong. And if somebody designed that wrong, then the people need to know who designed that wrong, that you just wasted, I don't believe, $10,000 for a monitor screen for wireless mics. I would suggest you guys go to B&H Photo and look and see what it costs to get wireless mics and a mixer. $1,000, I could set you guys up. $2,000 maybe. So I think this needs to be looked into. And one more thing, Your Honor, for these bids, I think in the future, what the city needs to do, what the county does, and occasionally they, maybe by accident do something right, is if you have 3 bids for something, or 2 bids, you need to put what the bids were, so that people know if they're getting the lowest bid or the best bid. And I don't see that in the city documents. And that's just a suggestion, and I would request that this be looked into, or at least we get an explanation from the city management on that. Thank you very much, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Lelker. That concludes our public comment for item number 10. We'll now open up council comments, questions.
Yes.
Mr. Jernigan.
Thank you, Mayor. I don't understand why we're getting these microphones, because if all of us speak inside of the mics that we have now, there shouldn't be a problem. I don't understand why we got wireless, cordless, and we have a microphone that's sitting right in front of us. So why would we go out and buy $42,000 worth of more equipment, and when we have it, this guy here, he's the IT is doing a pretty good job with the system that we already have. So why would we go out and get another bid? What would be the issue with what we have now? Spending, why we have to spend $42,000 more? Can somebody answer that for me?
We didn't do our homework.
Mr. Rosenthal?
You got hungry?
Here, Mr. Rosenthal, will you speak into the microphone, please?
I don't think it's a situation of not doing our homework. I think it's a situation of speaking into the people, not speaking into the mics, complaints from the citizens. So we got something to try and alleviate that and fix that. These mics are wireless. They'll pick up whatever the person say. The only drawback is going to be the need to turn them off if you're talking about something that you don't want the public to hear.
Well, again, I don't think that's necessary. I hope I don't say anything that I'm not supposed to say to anybody. I hope I don't. However, I don't think there's nothing wrong with the equipment we have, that we have now, so why would we go out and get more equipment spending the taxpayers' dollars? I just don't understand that. So, and I guess you could just tell us who else not speaking into the mic. Just tell us, say, hey, you need to speak into the mic, and we could solve that issue. But to go out and spend more money because I don't speak into the mic, I don't think that's feasible.
Thank you, Mr. Jernigan. You were next, Mr. Carter.
Yes, I agree with Mr. Jernigan. We don't have to say who is or isn't doing it, but this is very easy to do. Really, the only thing we have to do is make sure that we can be heard when we're talking for the brief time we're talking. I certainly don't think we need to spend $40,000 to make this easier. So I'm not in favor of doing this. There's a microphone in front of us. We just speak into the microphones. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Carter. Ms. Young?
I agree, it shouldn't cost us thousands of dollars because we won't speak, and I'll just say we won't speak into the mics, but I'm speaking as I spoke or speak at the city council, and the sound is very nice. So it's not the matter of just not speaking in the mics. You can't make me believe that. It's more than that, but I don't agree with spending that money for new mics.
Sounds like we probably want to table this then for further development on an assessment. Yeah?
I second.
Yeah.
Well, I can't make the motion, so.
Mr. Mayor, move to table resolution 2026-012 while we determine
Second.
whatever we need to about this.
Thank you. Thank you both. Clay, do we vote on tabling? Pardon my ignorance on that.
Do we have to table it?
Yes, you should vote to table, and mechanically and administratively, if you voted to table it to a certain meeting, that would be easier in terms of procedure. We would just put it on that particular meeting date. So if you table it to the next meeting or the 2nd in February, and then I think this is what Ms. Young was getting ready to say, but I think Mr. Adler's trying to get our attention.
I'd like to hear from IT. I think he might want to say something.
Well, let's finish. We've got a motion. We got a motion and a second on the floor.
I thought that was for discussion.
We need to vote on the, you're right, it is for discussion. But Phil, can we hear you from up there?
Mr. Mayor, I rescind my motion.
All right, rescinded the motion.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Phil.
Okay. This quote is for 8 additional wireless mics and 2 lapel mics, plus a new screen and projector. So if we had a setup like this in our chambers, we'd have 8 additional mics like we did for the Lakeshore Housing Authority, so everyone could sit and have a microphone and be seen. It's not to replace the mics that are currently on the dais that we just purchased.
So it's additional mics, okay. Yeah, yes, ma'am, Ms. Young.
I do agree with the screen projection. So that gets rid of the,
We'll be getting a new projector and a new screen, an HD projector and an HD screen.
I can't understand what you're saying.
You're saying it's for an HD projector and an HD screen. So, thank you, Phil. Does anybody have any other questions for Phil?
Let's just vote on it.
No? Okay, I need a motion. We had our motion rescinded. So we need a motion, either to table, move forward, or to deny this motion, or to deny this, city resolution number
Mr. Mayor,
2026-012.
Mr. Mayor, I move to table resolution 2026-012.
Second.
With the idea that it may be coming back perhaps with some things on it and some things not. So I'd like to table it till the next meeting.
All right, so we've got a motion and a second to table it to the next meeting. Do we have any further discussion, questions, comments?
As long as
You
we
have a
come
We
back with,
just can't vote on it. I mean, it's a simple fix. He said what he said, and I thought that was a good point, because I'm one of those, sometimes the mic don't need to pick up stuff, but that's on purpose. But what I want the citizens to hear, I'm in the mic, so everybody already know what you're pretty much going to say, so why we have to table it and push it on the next agenda when something else more important could be on there?
Well, I think that the idea is for them to revise what they're bringing us.
and
Yeah, to be
clarity.
clear, it seems like at least no, I wouldn't say consensus, but it seems like a few people on the council see the lapel mics as maybe not necessary. But I'm okay with hearing an argument for the necessity of the projector and projector screen. So if we'd like to table this, and put this back together with that information, that is what I would like to hear.
So we do have that, we have a motion for that, motion and a second in favor of that. Do we have any final discussion, comments, questions? Yes, ma'am, Ms. Young?
I don't have clarity. So is it the mic? Because what's the difference in this mic that I'm speaking in than the mic at the city? Y'all hear me clearly?
He's coming to show us.
Our sound doesn't sound like this.
No, it doesn't sound like this, not in city chambers. I get comments from folks quite often that they can't hear members of council or administrative members because the mics are often not in direct alignment to pick up your voice. He might have just walked out.
So I thought it was,
Might have just left. Fair enough.
I thought it was coming
We do have a motion to table.
Yes.
We've had discussion, I don't know, we'll give him another second to appear. If not, then we'll vote on this.
Right there.
Motion to okay, perfect. There he is. We're glad you didn't leave, Phil. We thought that might have been a possibility.
What was the question again?
So the clarity, Ms. Young wanted some clarity on what the issue was, right?
Right.
So we're getting 2 lapel mics, so if we ever have a meeting or a speaker in the city council chambers, they can wear a mic
Okay.
and walk around and speak.
Okay.
We're also getting 8 additional mics. So like when we had the mediation for the Lakeshore Housing Authority, with the table set up, each person could have their own mic. We're not replacing the new mics, we just put on the dais. These are additional microphones.
Understood. Question, did I hear monitors?
No, ma'am.
No?
Projectors.
A projector, an HD projector and screen.
And this come down from the ceiling?
Well, it'll be in the same place it is in our chambers now. It'll just be a new, brighter version.
All right. Any further questions for Mr. Phil?
No.
All right, we have a motion and a second to table this into our next meeting. If no further comments or questions, Ms. Sykes, will you please call the roll?
Mr. Carter?
Yay.
Mr. Jernigan?
Yay.
I'm sorry, was that a yes? Sorry?
Yes.
Okay, sorry. Ms. Young?
Yes.
Ms. Harris?
Yes.
Mayor Walker?
Yes. All right, thank you. Moving on to item number 11, which is City Council Resolution number 2026-013. Mr. Martin, will you please read this by title?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Council members, you have before you resolution number 2026-013, a resolution of the City of Lake City, Florida, adopting the evaluation and tabulation of responses to that certain invitation to bid number 004-2026 for the milling and resurfacing of Northeast Congress and Southeast Castillo Terrace, awarding said bid to Anderson Columbia Company Incorporated, a Florida corporation, at a total cost not to exceed $215,000.64, approving the agreement with said vendor, making certain findings of fact in support thereof, recognizing the authority of the mayor to execute and bind the city to said agreement, directing the mayor to execute and bind the city to said agreement, repealing all prior resolutions in conflict, and providing an effective date.
Thank you, Mr. Martin. We have no public comment for this, so we will move past public comment straight into council comments, questions.
Mr. Mayor, move to approve City Council Resolution 2026-013.
Second.
Thank you both. Any final questions, comments? Hearing none, Ms. Sykes, will you please call the roll?
Mr. Carter?
Yay.
Ms. Young?
Yes.
Mr. Jernigan?
Yes.
Ms. Harris?
Yes.
Mayor Walker?
Yes. All right, moving on to item number 12, City Council Resolution number 2026-014. Mr. Martin, will you please read this one by title?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Council members, you have before you resolution number 2026-014, a resolution of the City of Lake City, Florida, adopting the evaluation and tabulation of responses to that certain invitation to bid number 004-2026 for the milling and resurfacing of Northeast Bailey Street, awarding said bid to Florida Fill and Grading Incorporated, a Florida corporation, at a total cost not to exceed $86,646, approving the agreement with said vendor, making certain findings of fact in support thereof, recognizing the authority of the mayor to execute and bind the city to said agreement, directing the mayor to execute and bind the city to said agreement, repealing all prior resolutions in conflict, and providing an effective date.
Thank you, Mr. Martin. We have no public comment signed up for this one, so we'll move into council comments, questions.
Mr. Mayor? Oh,
Yep.
go ahead.
Yes,
I
ma'am,
make a
Ms.
motion
Hunt.
that we approve City Council Resolution number 2026-014.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Thank you both. Do we have any questions, comments? Hearing none, Ms. Sykes, will you please call the roll?
Ms. Young?
Yes.
Mr. Carter?
Yay.
Mr. Jernigan?
Yes.
Ms. Harris?
Yes.
Mayor Walker?
Yes. All right, now we're moving on to comments. We'll move straight into comments by Mr. Don Rosenthal.
Yes, Mayor, thank you. We're going to be bringing back to the board the strategic plan and the option to acquire another city hall. So we'll be sometime in February, I think we're going to bring those back.
Thank you, Ms. Rosenthal. Mr. Martin?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just wanted to compliment everybody that was involved in the Martin Luther King brunch on Sunday. That was an awesome presentation and a great inaugural event. So thank you to all who were involved on the city's part.
Thank you, Mr. Martin. Ms. Sykes?
I don't have anything, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Sykes. Vice Mayor Young?
Thank you. City Attorney, I agree. It was an awesome event. What was so special to me is that we followed the pattern of Dr. King, where everyone played a part. The beauty of it was the diversity. Everyone shared together. Even from the beginning, and shout out to Fire Department A-Team. Thank them so much. They actually came out and set up the tables. Thanks to all those from the community who came and shared their talents, their gifts, their businesses. It was amazing. The churches, thank them so much. Even the youth. The oldest person was 83 years old, and the youngest was 4 years old. That's a big gap. So it was well represented. The community came out, participated, and it was just so meaningful. And thank you to all. From the decorations, the food, everything was amazing. Thanks to all. on behalf of the city of Lake City.
Thank you, Vice Mayor Young. Councilman Jernigan.
Yes, Mayor, thank you for this opportunity. I just want to reassure something with our Lake City Fire Department and, of course, our police department and all of our department heads, because we do such an awesome job here with the city of Lake City. We got an awesome team. But now the fire department is on the forefront of what we're talking about and trying to come up with a fire district. I don't want those firemen, those staff members worrying about if they're going to have a job this week, next week, how we're going to vote, and I just don't think that's the right thing to do. You know, having an assessment, we can assess the assessment if you want to, but I do not want to. I want to reassure those firemen with the job that they do and whatever they've done for this city, that we got to have their back no matter what. We must have their back, and that's for all department heads, even Steve Brown, procurement. I see we got the department out there at the airport. So we got to make sure we keep our team. This is a great team that we have, even from the city clerk's office. A great team that we have here. So please, whatever we do, let's support our fire department. That's important to me. They play a big role in this city. I don't care if it's 5 miles or 50 miles. The job that they do is remarkable. So please help them as much as you can. I'm done.
Thank you, Mr. Jernigan. Councilwoman Harris.
Yes, I have a couple of things to say. The first thing I want to say is the MALK brunch, it was beautiful. I'm going to tell you one thing that I especially liked. I liked when I looked to the door, I saw the firemen and our city police standing there. That just looked so good to me to see those guys there. It looked really good, and everything was wonderful. All right. I have a question. Okay, as far as the city hall, are we going to be discussing anything about the new city hall, or?
Yes.
Okay.
Mr. Rosenthal said we'd be bringing that, coming back, probably a second meeting in February.
In
'Cause
February?
we've got one before the first meeting in February.
Okay, I have another question. Well, I have a question. When we hire firemen, what are the qualifications of becoming a fireman chief, if you can?
An incredible mustache, first and
That's right.
foremost.
Gotta at least start with a mustache. That's it. It's kind of twofold now, because we have a sponsorship program. So, we open it up, we put that on the website, and, we take applications, basically whoever we get, and we vet those, we go through those, and, if they're over 400 miles away, we probably are not gonna look at those. We're going to try to look as many people local first. If we get to where we don't have local people, then we will start looking elsewhere. But the problem that we run into is hiring people from very far away, as they come here for about a year until an opening happens in Miami or wherever they're from, and then they leave. And we've spent $10,000 or more in training and equipment, and they leave us high and dry. So we've opened it up to some of the, we have a little bit of a budget for sponsoring some kids to go, or people to go out there to the college. And then we just take the applications and go through those, and like I said, we vet them.
Okay, to become a fireman, is it true that they have to have EMT schooling and that's what I mean by, say for instance, if I was Joe Blow come off the street, and the only thing I did was I went to school for fireman, is there anything extra that I have to have?
So originally, before we had the sponsorship program, yes, you had to be an EMT, at minimum EMT, and a Florida Fire certified firefighter.
Why do you have to have, EMT if that isn't one part of the, I'm, in my eyesight, I'm thinking, if I'm going to be a fireman, that will possibly have some EMT stuff in there, right?
You have first responder, basically how to put a Band-Aid on, but
So-
EMT is the next level. We be able to give oxygen and kind of splint bones and stuff like that. There's a little bit more to it, but I don't believe there's any fire departments in the state of Florida that don't hire what we call single certs, just a firefighter. You have to have a minimum, because we go to car accidents, we go to almost every medical call within the city. We run with an ambulance.
But if something happens, EMT automatically is gonna show up on the scene. If we have a fire over here, EMT is almost certainly gonna be there with you guys, right? Has it been
Are
an
you talking about
instance
an
where
ambulance?
it's?
Are you talking about an ambulance coming?
Yeah.
We hope that an ambulance is coming. But you just heard the man that come up here earlier.
But that isn't part of it. Because I done had people call the police, the fire department, and the EMT come. So
So here's, we're getting into a whole lot of different stuff here now. When you call 911 and you say, my family member is on the floor, not breathing, not conscious, a fire truck is going and an ambulance is coming. And in recent times, because of some issues we've had, the police officers come as well. It's multiple times daily, we get a call and they'll say, check your CAD notes. This patient gets violent. So that's why the police officer comes with us, is for protection of the personnel, the firefighters and the police, or the EMS people. And I think when you say EMT, there's two different levels. EMT is the basic level. There's a paramedic, and people see an ambulance and they go, oh, there goes the EMTs.
Mm-hmm.
That's not typical. That's typically paramedics. EMTs can only do basic life support. So there's a different level of EMT, paramedic, when that comes about. But we go to every vehicle accident. We go to most medical calls if it's cardiac or if it's a respiratory call. So we don't go if somebody stubbed their toe and they just want to go to the hospital. We don't respond on that. But I promise you, if you call 911, you want one of my guys there.
Well, I guess what I'm thinking is, so you have to be done, went to school for EMT.
It's a two-part thing. So the college won't let you, in the fire program unless you have EMT. So it's almost like a one-time.
Is that a state of Florida rule, or is that just?
Because you're not going to get a job as a firefighter unless you're an EMT. You can go get an EMT job on an ambulance and work with a paramedic, but you can't get any fire department in the state of Florida that you don't have at least EMT.
Okay. How long do you go to school to be an EMT? And the reason why I ask is because I tell people about your sponsorship program, right? Because I'm trying to sell you guys as far as I'd rather for the people to be here, homegrown in Lake City.
100%.
So when I tell them about it, it's like I got to tell them you got to do two separate things. And
It is all, but it's all kind of one. It takes less than a year to get both of them. So it's
less than a year for both of them?
Correct. You start EMT, sometimes you get your EMT, take that state test, and then you right into the fire program, or vice versa. You start the fire program, you take your fire certification, and you're right into the EMT program. So it is less than a year.
Okay.
And we need all the help we can get, so spread the word.
Well, I have one that I was talking to about becoming that. So, wait a minute, I had something else wrote down. Okay, that's it for you, Chief.
All right,
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
Okay, I have a question, not you, Chief, not for you.
No. Thank you.
All right. As far as the floats go, I want some direction of who are supposed to be responsible for building the floats for the city. when we be in the, and look, Chief, I like that fire truck, but I don't like to ride it. So I wanna know, give me some direction on what we need to do as far as getting people that will build the float. Is that Steve's department, or how does that work?
Well, building the floats is not, it's not really anybody's job. What you normally get is the employees volunteer their time and effort to build those floats. They're regular people, they're water guys and inspectors and whatever. And when the time comes to build a float, Steve is normally over it, and the clerk's office is always involved, and people volunteer to help build the floats. But it's really nobody's job to build a float.
So if we say we wanna, say for instance, the Veterans Day Parade, if Carter comes up and say, hey, we wanna float for the Veterans Day Parade versus everybody trying to be in separate vehicles or whatever, will it be possible for us to have us on one platform?
I think somebody like Steve Brown would be better able to answer what could go on one platform. But there's no designated team to build floats. I mean, that's just something that the staff volunteers to do.
Okay, go ahead.
May I say, if we decide to do a float, because floats are a lot of work and it takes away from their day-to-day operation. So if we're gonna do a float, I say we choose a parade where we're actually gonna do a float and not try to do a float for every parade.
So we need to talk about, what?
Yeah, so sometime we'll have on the agenda to decide which parade we'll actually do a float on. That's my suggestion, because it is a lot of work, it's time consuming, and we can't expect these workers to do after-hour work if we're not gonna pay them. And Mayor, while I have the mic, that's why I don't like to call names, but I do want to say the hard work and dedication that was put into the Dr. Martin Luther King event. The guys from Utilities, did I say that right, Utilities? Mr. Brown and his team, they were also there from beginning to end. Matter of fact, I had to go to the gym this morning. I like to go and check out, make sure everything is good, and they were there loading up to bring our materials and desks and tables back to our house. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Vice Mayor Young. Thank you, Councilwoman Harris. I made a grave mistake in the order of council comments. I apologize, Mr. Carter, but I now cede the floor to you.
Hello. Just because I'm curious now, Chief Wanger, could that fire truck pull a small trailer?
I won't see why not.
So that we don't have to like keep wondering and it's kind of amorphous. I feel like we should get us a nice little red trailer, attach it to the get some red benches, put it on there, bada bing, bada boom, we've got the council's float. Nobody has to worry about falling out the back of a truck if that makes them nervous. Or if they live out the childhood dream of riding on a fire truck and a float, they'll be right next to them, like I like to do.
Which fire truck are you talking about?
Our pretty little fire truck that's 100 years
Anyone know
old.
how to pull it stuff?
Yeah, that thing's a tank.
I love that thing.
Chief, don't worry about
I
hooking
pass.
nothing up with that.
So anyhow, but I agree. I want to co-sign the sentiment that's already been expressed. The event Sunday for Martin Luther King Day was excellent. Ms. Phillips, the fire department, Public Works, Ms. Audrey. I mean, it went off without a hitch. It was awesome. The food was great. The fellowship was great. The program was really inspiring. What was the pastor's name that came from McClenny?
Vidal Williams.
Mr. Williams. He really did a really impressive and an exciting program. I liked that a lot. And pin ceremony and all the stuff. It was great. It was a terrific event. And thank you, staff, everybody who was involved in getting that going and making it a success. The only thing of consequence that I have that I'd like to share now is just that back to because I'm assuming that we're going to have probably at the next meeting a resolution to move forward with the study on our side. I guess it's already pretty much written anyhow. I would like to, and it seemed like the general consensus of the both bodies, at least I thought so, that it may be reworded somewhat to be an assessment of consolidation, not necessarily if you're going to make an assessment. I don't want us to spend all the money and have a study come back that is specifically how to, like, this is how you go about doing a district. There's probably 5 or 6 different ways that consolidation could happen. I'd like a more broad opinion from those experts on that. Like I said, obviously I made my uninformed by said expert opinion on the need for the study clear, but if we're gonna get it, I think it needs to be nice and wide. I don't want to come back and us find ourselves going, well, that district thing specifically sounds not feasible, but now we don't know if something else is. So if we can have that reworded somewhat, to be more generally, or to more general, I think that would be, behoove us. And, yeah, I think that's it. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. Coming down. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Carter. All right, for my comments, I will also mirror everybody's MLK Junior celebration sentiments. It was a great event, well executed by everybody who was involved. Also, the parade, very fortunate to be included in the parade. The only complaint about it was that we ordered the wrong weather. It was very cold. My lips will be chapped for the next month, but my hands were warm. Thanks to Audrey. Appreciate you for having those hand warmers ready for us. Something very special happened for an individual from Lake City last night, and he won the national championship, and his name is Amari Farrell. So I'd like to congratulate that young man who did a great job playing for the Indiana Hoosiers. Unfortunately, they beat a Florida team, so I know that there's some sentiments around town about that, but we can applaud our local heroes, and Amari Farrell is a local hero. So congratulations to him. I would just like to say that we here on the council are working to build the safety, beauty, and quality of life here in Lake City, and we'll continue to do so. And we want this to be an environment where families grow and thrive alongside businesses, and we will keep working toward that. So thank you very much, Lake City, and that concludes our meeting for tonight.
Amen.